There is about the game of football something that touches every beating heart. And there is something for every Australian man, woman and child in this living video history. 100 years of Australian football on video. It's yours to keep forever at these stores now.
Fabulous footy flashbacks. Your team's finest moments on video. Flashback to glory. Flashback to heroes. Flashback to the great history-making quarters and legendary highlights from Collingwood, Geelong, West Coast, Essendon, Adelaide, Melbourne, Carlton and St Kilda. Fabulous footy flashbacks. Flash into these stores for your video now.
Beautiful kick by Jack. Arm up with Bay, taken by Stitcher. Half-back midfielder. Who's had 7? Played it well. He defends it He's kicked it beautifully. Well controlled by Riccardi. Superb play there by Riccardi. That's fantastic play by McKinnon. Biddiscombe. Look at him go. Well done. Because there's nothing in this game of football. Geelong may make it just a kicker here. With Patrick Burns. Burns. Still Burns. Burns has kicked the goal.
If it's in the game, it's in EA Sports AFL 98, the ultimate football game for your PC. The closest thing to actually playing first-grade Aussie rules. You be the judge. All your favourite marks, tackles and kicks in one fantastic sports game. EA Sports AFL 98.
Kicks the ball forward. Skillfully done. Kicked on by King. Did well. What a star! Great by Chandler. Floating it into Carey. High kick to long. Great
EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
There have been few more telling years in the history of this proud football club. In 1997, the search for a new character and a new identity saw the team we had known and loved as Footscray take on a new look, a new name and a new home ground. The results would be stunning. 1997 was the year the Western Bulldogs added some bark to their bite. From 15th in 1996, and the memories of coaching and administrative upheavals, the Bulldogs would soar in 97 under Terry Wallace. The former club champ demanding a tougher approach and getting it. This would be a year of massive achievement, a year in which the club would reel from body blows in the preliminary final and at the Brownlow medal count.
And we've had a fantastic year, we really have. To come from 15th and to finish third is a fantastic effort.
Woof is the story of the Western Bulldogs in 1997. A remarkable year out west. A flash new home ground at Optus Oval failed to attract big crowds for the Western Bulldogs' first game of the season against Fremantle. Only 8,664 supporters turned up, with criticisms of ticket pricing forcing some disgruntled fans to walk away from the turnstiles. Inside, they would have seen the Dockers in charge early, before the Dogs kicked 5 second-quarter goals.
It could be dangerous, it may still prove to be dangerous. Grant tries to burst his way through. Minton Connell has kicked it.
Wira, Ellis providing the run, ignores the overlap run from outside to go to Johnson. He's got space, the ball just needs to set for him. Back inside, can settle just outside 50. Pressured slightly on the mark, up to the goal square. It's a mark there for one of them. Can't do it. Darcy over the back, got it off the ground.
Darcy gets his second. Leon Cameron, off one step. Hudson. Smith loves a goal, can kick them on the run. 45 metres out, beauty! Doggins in front. Long looping hand pass, West to the runner from Miro. Callahan comes at him. Cameron, first quarter on the bench. Best and fairest winner for Footscray. It's a great mark.
It is a great mark.
From 40 metres out, he kicks, and he's got his second.
5 more in the third gave the Dogs a handy lead at three-quarter time, but it was all to no avail. With less than a minute on the clock, Winston Abraham let go a long bomb to give the Dockers victory by 4 points.
It's a goal! Dockers in front with 26 seconds remaining.
3 goals to first gamer Simon Minton Connell with his 4th AFL club, Smith and Darcy 2 apiece, while West, Ellis and Johnson were the best for the Bulldogs.
Our pre-season form had been very good, probably leading up about 2 or 3 weeks prior to the year starting, and then just fell away a little bit. And I don't know. I think quite often the expectation, a new club environment, everything around the place had changed. New jumper, new theme song, and new ground. I just think that sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming.
Short of midfield, poor Hudson, a little give.
Sydney next up at Optus Oval, the 1996 grand finalists off a first-round loss. It was a torrid encounter, tough and unforgiving. The game was all but won in the second term as the Dogs belted home 8 goals to 4.
So here's Scott West driving it long up towards full court. They need someone to take a mark. Oh, good give over to Brown. Nathan Brown into an open goal. He's kicked a badly needed goal.
On to Wine, the 2 Footscray big men. Now Wira, well down the ground. Can they get it through this time? Wira, the defender, kicks it goal. They won't take that one off them. Looks for and finds Lucuria. He takes the mark. He shipped it short, too short. Grant pinches it. Kicks it back to full forward. Here's a chance. Picking it up cleanly is Cameron. 2 metres out and goals. Bully's back in it.
More senior umpires. He fancied himself as a footballer. There's Wine. Getting it to Cameron, who's a brilliant left foot kick. Look at that driving kick by Cameron. And now the Bulldogs are in front by a point. As we see Nathan Brown, Johnson. Quick hand pass by Ellis onto Jose Romero. He bombs it long in towards the square. Darcy should mark here. Yes, had his name written all over that and will kick from 5 metres. He's going for his second goal and to put the Bulldogs in front, and he has done just that.
The most talked about matchup was the Cali Liberatore clash. The Brownlow medalists never apart for more than a second. This day, the honours would go to Libba. He kept the All-Australian captain to only 2 kicks. He only had 2 himself, but they were both goals.
Simon Cox waits for it. He's got plenty of time to chip it across. He had 2 options. Ramiro was one. And here's the other one, Wira. Wira receives. And it seems to be heaps of time for some of these players. Up towards half court, it's no mark. The ball hits the deck. Seymour, smothered well. Taken by Darcy. Back it comes to Cameron on the run. Cameron's a different player. That's his third. Down to a pack. Carey's at the back. Went for the punch. Didn't attempt. There's O'Loughlin. Oh, great tackle from behind. That was by Grant. And Wine gets it to Smith. Look at the pace of Rowan Smith. He drives it in low. That was magnificent football to Minton Connell. And what a great kick by Smith on the run. So Simon Minton Connell kicking for his second. And a vital kick coming up. A low trajectory kick. It's a goal.
The Bulldogs 2 points up at three-quarter time. The stage set for a thriller.
Just took that little bit too long.
I thought it was a bit low, John, I must admit. Darcy has got it.
Only one goal would be scored in the final term, but that was enough to give the Dogs victory by 7 points.
And the time has run out for Sydney, you'd reckon. Darcy from right on 50. He'll kick on the siren. There it is. There's the siren. And the Doggies have scored in a thriller at Optus Oval.
Minton Connell, Cameron and Darcy 3 goals each. Best of field was Chris Grant, who took 9 marks.
We really sort of hadn't played that well in the first quarter, and probably our first 5 quarters, including the week before against Fremantle, hadn't been really consistent. And that was probably a quarter where we just blew the wind out of them and had a great quarter, and really our game from the rest of that game really continued on.
Juggled by Richardson, didn't get first touch. Nichols.
With 16 successive losses at the MCG since 1994, the thought of a trip to headquarters and a meeting with the Tigers was hardly appetising. The first quarter should probably have been Richmond's. The Tigers had twice the scoring shots, but with 4 straight goals, the Bulldogs were in touch. A huge second quarter from Paul Hudson, who had 9 possessions, and the Dogs down by 9 points at the long break.
This is the view that Paul Hudson has. 40 metres out.
That is all clear. That is all clear. That's just the start that the Western Bulldogs wanted.
Kick in to half-back flank. Darcy. Gee, some space here on the forward line.
Hudson.
And Hudson 45 metres out right in front. Still day, breeze no factor. They need it. The trail by 14 points.
That is home. Right through the middle.
Yeah, there's no doubt about his finishing abilities, Paul Hudson.
Hudson's kicked the total score for the Bulldogs, 2 goals. He's kicked down to Minton Connell, who slips away from Gaspar. Minton Connell goes for the goal. It's pretty close.
Oh, I can't quite call it. He likes it though. It's home.
What a goal. Richmond have kicked just 3 behinds this quarter. Bond towards the outer side. Nichols. Mind you, the Bulldogs have only kicked 1 goal too. Oh, it should be a goal. Darcy. They're in front. Well, he must know how to play that. He would have watched the videos and the matches in the flesh. Montgomery goes over the top.
This
Darcy.
is very close.
Thumps it long.
Ooh, it's home. It is home, boys. Right through.
Great goal by
The story of the match, though, was the last quarter. Time and again, Footscray put the ball into attack, and the goals just kept on coming.
Kick, what a kick! Just the start the Bulldogs wanted in the last term. Free kick Wine to Smith. Good distance again. Oh,
See, Simon went with the hand, went for the chest mark again.
here's Brown. It's in the goal square.
Oh, it's goal.
Brown might have kicked this. Bulldogs in front. Gaspar. High kick by Campbell. Dimatina.
Does go up and under a lot, Wayne Campbell, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He spoons him a bit.
Liver's in trouble behind. The play's coming off.
Montgomery's taken the mark inside 50.
Darcy's calling it in. He runs in very balanced, and he's put it straight through the middle.
Ooh. Bulldogs by 8 points. Cameron to Johnson. Short pass. Hudson.
He's looking a bit tired, Paul, but look, he needs to really utilise his good skills here.
Minton Connell, a juggle. He's near the white line. Oh, not a bad hand pass.
Goal.
Dent gets it.
He actually had the right lead there, but just not enough weight on the kick there, Gary.
There's some space here.
And running hard, Rowan Smith.
Now Rowan Smith Can he set it up like he's done before? Darcy.
Now, Ned, that is, you may point out here, even though...
A 7-goal final term with Cameron, Smith and Wirra in total command gave the Dogs victory number 2.
The Western Bulldogs will go on from here.
That's a 4-goal lead.
Set ploy there, and, well, the Western Bulldogs have been a wake-up to that today and have even employed it against Richmond.
Rowan Smith has kicked the ball kilometres today.
Oh, Minton
Connell! A goal!
Smith best of field from Liberatore and Johnson. The main goal kicker was Darcy. He kicked 4, Minton Connell kicked 3 for the 3rd week in a row.
We probably didn't really sort of know how our season was really going to unfold. You know, we'd beaten Sydney, but we were only beating them by 7 points, and we knew our fitness was there, but we didn't know really quite where our football was going to take us. And we were, I think, down by 10 or 15 points for each quarter, leading into the last quarter, and we sort of blew them away in the last quarter. So it really did spur us on to bigger and better things.
Yes, I just saw him then. Sorry, I gave you a...
With that dreaded MCG curse a thing of the past, the Dogs returned a week later to meet Melbourne on Friday night under lights and wondered what had hit them. The Demons came out firing. This was a physical test, a game which Melbourne had blown wide open, leading by 5 goals.
Had it chopped off, rounded well, got his kick away, Colin on the end of it, and then chips to Minton Connell. Good lead, good mark, well played. So Minton Connell from 48. Looks good, but at least for the Bulldogs, a couple of better signs in the last couple of minutes, and here's a chance. Poor kick coming in, and Montgomery able to cut off the Woden short pass. So he's going to kick from 45. Straightening up, that's a goal. Well done, they're back in business. Short and wide to McDonald. Oh, McDonald, dreadful. Hudson, is it? Snap, goal.
The 3rd quarter would be telling as West, Liberatore and Romero began clawing their side back into it.
With the ball to the back for Scotty West. Just lines it up and delivers nicely to Romero. Now Romero, we've seen him struggle from probably even a little closer in than this. So you would have to expect him to give it off. No, he's been able to run away from the man on the mark and kicks a goal. Bad marking by the Demons.
Delivers in his familiar drop punt style to centre wing. Dent to Smith. I think that Smith and Grant might be the keys here off half back. How much run they can give the Dogs. Well done. Brilliant to Romero. Should kick the goal. Cheeky. In trouble. Johnson picked it up beautifully and squeezes it through.
Stein still running.
Ingerson from a long way out. Kicks to the centre half forward position. Oh, streaming out is Grant. Lovely little hand pass. Sets it up for Dimatina. Doesn't mind a run. Kicks out wide. Bullies are in the van here. Montgomery has taken the mark. About 42 metres, goes for the short pass and gives it up, and the advantage really here is with Luke Darcy. Very, very deliberate. Beautiful kick by Darcy. He's kicked the goal.
A goal down at the last break, the game was up for grabs.
Started in the back, goes to the pocket, neat kick. Hudson looking for 50. Oh, he's going to get it.
Well, it was unnecessary.
Well, push was there. Might have been a bit soft. The Melbourne fans won't like it, but it was there. And Hudson's going to kick his second. They still trail, but they're closing. Stones, liver, up in the air. Minton Connell, he's got it. That's his favourite one, in front on the chest. And if he kicks this, the Dogs will be in front for the first time in this match since the 13-minute mark of the opening term. He has, and they are.
With just 2 minutes to go, the game screamed out for a hero. Enter Steve Collignook.
To Dimatina. Dimatina almost up to half forward. Montgomery chance here. Well done, Cameron. Will he use Collignook? He does. The handball is reasonable. Collignook's left foot is a goal. They're back in front.
The Dogs third on the ladder with 3 wins from 4 games.
Neitz gets a push. Oh, Ellis takes a thriller over the back. Neitz had a little shove on him, and Ellis has taken probably the match-saving mark at half-back. He has.
Minton Connell 3 more, Hudson, Darcy, Romero 2 each. Darcy 11 marks, Romero 20 kicks, Ellis 6 second-half marks, the Stars.
And Ellis's last mark that he took to save the game was sensational and very deserving. You know, he really arrived on that day, and look, it was a game we stole. There's no doubt in the world that we stole that game, and it probably was a launching pad for us for the season to really get us off the mark, and you know, a little bit of self-belief that we could come back from virtually the dead on that evening. And there's a fair bit of emotion involved that one, because you know, we were just struggling over the line in our first couple of wins, and you know, it was just a great one to sort of get across the line, really.
This comes down to Tregenza. Pittman.
Atrocious kicking, indirect football and the red-hot Crows deprived the Dogs of a 4th straight win when Adelaide hit Optus Oval on round 5. While Modra was kicking 8 goals, the Dogs were kicking points.
In the first minute of the game, Modra goals.
Centre of the ground, Wind gets it out further. That's Liberatore. They go forward through Smith. Tyson Lane, that's a kick over the back, it might have bounced through for a goal. It has.
The second quarter return was 1 goal 8. Romero was crashed heavily. And things didn't get any better. Adelaide by 50 points.
Taken by Leon Cameron. Casual attempted goal from 45 metres. Maybe the casualness worked in his favour. It's a goal.
Smith 3, the only multiple goal scorer for the Doggies. Dimatina, Cameron and Smith, the pick of the bunch.
A really disappointing day for us, you know, to go, I think, you know, to win 3 games in a row, and all of a sudden for Adelaide to come across, and it wasn't a game that we penciled in, but we knew that they were going to be a tough opposition, but we knew that if we played to our potential that we should beat them, and you know, they gave us a hiding for really the whole day, and I think that was the most disappointing thing, to know that you weren't in it for the whole day and to be played so badly on home soil, you know, at Optus Oval, our new home ground, and in front of our own supporters. It was really disappointing for us, and we spoke after the game at length about how disappointing it was, and we really needed to turn things around. And the following week we went across to West Coast.
McIntosh with bandage on his left knee.
Memories of mean encounters with the Eagles came flooding back when the Bulldogs crossed the Nullarbor for the game under lights at the Wacker. No way known the Dogs of the class of 97 were going to be treated indifferently this time. They were with the Eagles every step of the way.
The game for the Bulldogs.
Kick away quickly by Turnbull towards centre wing. Push forward for the Doggies. Wine looks sharp early. Good kick to Powell. His first touch, he's a left footer, so he's on his right side. Bangs to full forward and over the top of ground. Darcy, left footer, turned the other way. Right foot snaps goals. Well done, big fellow. Right knee bandaged up, did miss a game because of an injury. It's going to kick from about 50. Hooks it, looking for more distance. Will it get the distance? Not quite. Ball comes to ground now. Southern kicks a goal. Well done, Danny.
Trying to get it clear as Chris Grant. Now kicking it forward as Johnson. Off the ground or out of the air, basically. Minton Connell for his second. Snapshot over his left shoulder, looks pretty good. He's a happy man. Bullies have got another one. 8-5 to 7-7. West Coast had a chance just before half-time to get the lead. Short kick, McKenna dispossessed. Kick forward by Johnson, was it? And it may have bounced through for a goal to the Bulldogs. It has. It's just
up forward they had a focal point in Simon Minton Connell. He'd finish with 5. It was the midfield that set up the game. The running of West and Johnson and Smith. The third quarter was a delight. 6 goals 7 to 1 goal 4.
The second term from about the same distance, and this is a good kick too. It just splits those 2 goalposts.
2-16-44 respectively. Quill out of the centre. Kicks the ball back to centre half forward. Vacant space. Taken by Darcy. Chris Grant's going to have to be quick. Good handball. Taken by Dimatina. 40 metres out. Left foot. Good kick. Got it. Well done. The reply they needed. Kick by Cameron. Ryan Smith getting a lot of the ball in this quarter. Such an important player. Beautiful kick. Spots his man and gets Montgomery. Montgomery away. Minton Connell, can he reach it? Well, he took a chance and he should kick a goal. He's kicked 3. He has kicked 4. They're 4 in front.
Yet to kick a goal, Chris Grant, in his 150th game. Looking maybe to give it off. Goes short. Croft has taken the mark. Well, Minton Connell kicked a goal from very much the same position. He goes short. It's going to come off too. The lead provided by Montgomery, and he's marked in front of Brett Hetty.
West Coast Hunter, there's no general there.
Yeah, most definitely. Montgomery goes for goal for the Bulldogs. Pretty good kick too. I think he's got it. It's just got inside. So Montgomery kicks his first goal. And the Bulldogs, woof woof, growl growl, 13-11, plays 8-10.
Montgomery took 8 marks. He'd kicked 2 invaluable goals. The Bulldogs with the most memorable win on the road by 14 points.
Ball got it away. Grant, Montgomery. Montgomery goes for it, kicks out. Well done. Scotty West called to play on. Goes wide. He's got Dimartino. I think it is all on his own out wide. It is. Gets to 50. Gives it everything he's got. Kicks to full forward. Grant launches himself and takes it. He has been the difference. It would mean they'd have to kick 9 goals in the last quarter to win. He shouldn't miss. He improves the angle and he kicks it. Less than 10 seconds remaining. Terry Wallace right in front of me. Terry, fantastic effort.
Yeah, look, they've been great all night, and I think probably the biggest thing that they've done tonight is weathered the storm. You know, it was one of those when they really come at us that hard, that you could just fall apart, and I just thought, you know, the few blokes really stood tall.
Your matchups have been great.
Well, you know, some weeks they work and others they don't, and last week, you know, everything that we planned didn't work, and it's it's worked out well tonight.
Terry, what'd you say to him at half time?
Oh, look, you know, we come over here for a job, and you know, this is a final side that you're playing against, and you know, we expected finals type football in the third quarter and expected them to come on with the game.
Savour the moment. Thanks, mate.
Thanks a lot.
Well done. What an effort.
Minton Connell with 5. He'd kicked 17 in 6 games. Montgomery and Powell 2 each. Smith, West and Johnson with nearly 90 possessions between them the best. Chris Grant 7 marks, 23 possessions in game 150.
Your 150th game under lights at the Wacker, and you just flogged the Eagles.
Oh, it was great. It really was. And I think most teams would probably think the same thing, going across and just winning would be great. But to dominate the whole game in the fashion that we did was just extraordinary, really. And I think that's really sort of where our season started to take off. You know, at certain points throughout the game that I thought that, you know, these boys do really mean business this year, and our skill level was just fantastic for the whole game. And you know, we were kicking goals that we wouldn't normally kick or hadn't kicked throughout the start of the year, and just to dominate the game in the fashion that we did was just fantastic.
Out of the middle, hand pass intercepted by West. Inside
2 huge quarters of football would spell the death knell for Hawthorn when the teams met at Optus Oval in round 7. As someone said of the Dogs, new name, new coach, new Guernsey, new home, new song. Still, Terry Wallace went for one of the oldest tricks in the book. He papered the walls with the names and pics of the media experts who'd written off his side. While the scribes went for the Hawks, the game was definitely the Dogs.
On his wrong foot then, Crofton. It was just a great kick in front of Grant.
Chris Grant, can he make the distance? Passes short to Darcy.
What do? Do you go straight at it, or trust the natural instincts, or go with the wind?
You've really got to go and go straight at the goals, I think, Dermot.
That's a good kick. That's a class kick there by Darcy.
Kick by Grant. Good running by Brad Johnson. And he's been picked up by Johnny Platten, I thought, at the last centre bounce. An interesting matchup.
Great kick. I mean, that was beautiful.
For the first time in his life, Simon Minton Connell could go ahead of his cousin.
And he has. Beautiful kick.
I think Grant's getting on top of Graham. I'd be worried about it as judgy at the moment. He's just getting away from him.
Here's Croft for goal for the Bulldogs. Poor old kick. Grant!
Good call, Yabby. That's why you're the master coach.
Danny Southern took some time, but finally negated the Hawks' best player, Nick Holland. Jose Romero did a great job bottling up Daniel Harford, allowing Scott West and Brad Johnson to wreak havoc. In the ruck, Scotty Wine completely outplayed Paul Salmon. A 6-goal second quarter was a terrific result.
He can kick goals. I have seen him kick a number of goals. He turned a game around at the MCG a few years ago.
But the Bulldogs, they're winning in just about every position. It's hard to find a good player for Hawthorn now. It's just a reverse from the first quarter. In the first quarter, I think Grant was the only bloke holding his own. Now it's just turned around completely.
And here's Grant again. Magnificent hand pass. Dimatina! What a goal! He burned in the second quarter. Into Ellis. Point the difference. Collinuk under the ball. Grant. Played by Chris Grant. Flips it up to Wine. Open spaces.
Very good kick by Scotty Wine. Very well weighted.
We might get Andrew Maher to keep an eye on that as we watch Collinuk run in and straight as a die horse.
Yep, very good kick.
Darcy wants a rover. He's got Collinuk. Now Curley, good hand pass in. Leon Cameron.
That's a goal.
Well, we're seeing now that the Western Bulldogs are a very fit team. Once the ball got kicked in quickly to the half-forward line, they just got the numbers running past there.
Ellis, a little hand pass over his shoulder. Spun round in the tackle.
Now, that's inconsistent umpiring by the umpire. He just threw that up one hand because one hand was pinned.
And here's a mark to Croft. And the Bulldogs are back in front.
Fantastic grab. I mean, he's been
right to the cricket pitch area.
Well, Bulldogs
helps it on. Here goes little Libber. He hasn't got the pace. He looks for a man who has got pace. Dimatina. Poor old hand pass though. In he goes to
Hudson,
and it's a goal to Hudson. Here's Brad Johnson. Couldn't make the distance from there.
Darcy's got the seat.
Darcy.
Juggle. Grant. Back to Croft. He's kicked 2 last quarter goals, Matthew Croft, and that's 3.
Yeah, well played, Croft.
8-6 in the final term blew Hawthorn away.
Southern did well. Liberatore again. Well done, Libber. Oh, look at that!
Doesn't he typify the Footscray attitude? And
Liberatore too close to the man on the mark, but he dances around him.
Chris Grant.
Minton Connell flips it out to Collinuk. Lord under pressure. 30.5 minutes tick by. Platten. Here's Nick Holland. There's the siren. What a win for the Bulldogs!
Minton Connell 5. He was third on the goal kicking with 22. Croft 3. Of the best players, Wind and West were overshadowed by Grant, who accumulated 19 kicks, 10 hand passes and 11 marks in a best on-field performance. It was marred, however, when the young champion was cited for striking Holland.
With Chris Grant's immediate football future on the line, there was no shortage of interest in tonight's hearing at Tribunal headquarters. And there's plenty riding on the outcome. The Bulldogs could go to the top of the ladder, albeit temporarily, if they defeat Collingwood on Friday night. Grant was booked on video evidence for allegedly striking Hawthorn's Nick Holland during Saturday's match at Optus Oval.
He got a big bit of a biff round the jaw.
The case was brought forward 24 hours to accommodate Grant's training schedule.
Chris has been fantastic, particularly the last 2 games, and he's really showing a class act, and he's a very important player for us.
Bulldogs General Manager Mark Patterson joined other football identities at today's launch of the E.J. Whitten Legends Game. The annual match between former greats will be played at Whitten Oval on June the 20th.
I'm not going to go out there and be silly, but I just want to go out there and play footy and have a bit of fun, but a bit more serious this time.
Representing Crown Casino at the launch was Nick Holland, and while the star forward wasn't talking about Grant's report today, his evidence tonight is crucial.
He'd be suspended for 1 week, wrecking his Brownlow medal hopes.
Plays on, Cameron, stationary.
60,000 at the MCG on a Friday night saw the up-and-coming Dogs against Collingwood, on a roll on top of the ladder. Undermanned by the loss of Grant, courtesy of the Tribunal, the Dogs were even in the first quarter, but then watched their opponents move away.
There now, he's got the footy. Minton Connell kicks from 45. It's home. Bounce virtually on the wing. Long course knocks it down. Johnson at close quarters. Too hot for West. Brilliantly picked up by Buckley. Ridden into the ground. Powell quick hands away. Opportunity for Dent now. About 75 metres out from goal to the pocket. Minton Connell certainly presenting himself on the forward line. Sharp angle. This for the lead. Great effort. Magnificent kick.
Minton Connell would kick 6, 4 of them in the first half.
Croft a long time with the ball. Back to Dent. Inside the centre square. Towards the pocket. Minton Connell. Looking to stay on pace with Sav Rocker here at his 4th. It's a good effort.
Todd Curley has a look down towards half forward. Luke Darcy is there. Swings round now onto that left foot. Krasiska will spoil from the side. It's a big punch, but it's straight to Croft. Surely he can break the drought for the Western Bulldogs.
Minton Connell 6 from 15 kicks and 10 marks. Croft 3, while West and Ellis were judged the Dogs' best players along with Minton Connell.
Play by Mellington. And through went Mark West. And
What a difference a year makes. At their previous meeting at the MCG in 1996, North had walloped the Bulldogs by 131 points, prompting then coach Alan Joyce to offer his resignation. On round 9 1997, this was a different Western Bulldogs team, a side with purpose. The side that finished 15th last year was now threatening top spot.
How's that, Ned?
Goal by Croft.
Put it through.
Kick by Ryan Smith. 15 metres short. Minton Connell.
Set play there.
Absolutely.
Set play.
The way that all the players ran into Rowan Smith, it was a dead set play, something they obviously worked on. It's great when one of those come off.
Simon Minton Connell gets the goal.
Nigel Kellett getting set for the Western Bulldogs to come on.
Darcy, great hit out. Dimartina did well. He's got back up. Mark West.
That's a good kick.
Grant with a 8-metre break on his opponent.
He's got Dimartina over the top.
Oh, Dimartina's run his legs off today. Well done.
Meanwhile, Mark West has been taken from the ground and Nigel Kellett on for the Western Bulldogs.
Dimartina for his second. What a season he's had.
He's got it home. He has got it home.
The second quarter was an eye-opener for those who doubted the improvement. 7 goals to open a 3-goal break at half-time.
Down goes Johnson. Croft again. Liberatore. Good kick by Liver.
Goal. Goal to Liver.
And the Bulldogs have hit the front. Scott West back to Wirra. Kick by Wirra. Flips to the back to Kellett. Nigel Kellett.
Grant's marked. One-on-one, Mickey Martin's going to push Simon around a fair bit on the body-on-body contest because Simon doesn't lead very hard. So, yeah, Montgomery better on Chandler as they nail another one.
Yeah, just a terrible kick by Corey McKernan there. He went into the most dangerous spot on the ground. You only go in there if you're almost certain of winning possession.
Paul Hudson, 45 metres from goal. Nobody on the line.
Yeah, as a result, goal.
Margin now 11 points in favour of the Bulldogs. Kick by Romero. Hoisted very high. That's a top mark by Minton Connell.
We know he's got fantastic ability to play both ends. So this one on the siren after working hard to pull a few goals back north could hurt them a bit.
He really does play like Peter Hudson, Simon Minton Connell, doesn't he? He marks them on the chest and he's a pretty big bloke, Simon.
This for his second goal today. 30 metres out.
Got it. Beautiful kick.
Such was the strength of the Bulldogs' commitment that North coach Dennis Pagan blasted his reigning premiers, accusing them of a premiership hangover. Craig Ellis was a standout. He took on and beat Corey McKernan, grabbing 26 possessions and 10 marks along the way across half-back as he continued his giant-killing year. So, in the opening 9 rounds, the Bulldogs had cleaned up both of last year's grand finalists and the Eagles in Perth. Heady stuff indeed.
Don't they love playing that bandwagon to the Western Bulldogs? And this man is just a superb player. He's a big part in the Western Bulldogs revival. And there it is.
Hudson 4, Minton Connell and Libba 3 apiece, with Ellis, Grant and Dimatina outstanding in a 32-point win that showed just how far the Bulldogs had come.
There's so many factors. I think, number one, the unity within the club was a major factor, and that's not a football term, but it's something where the guys really believed that there was a sense of belonging and that the club had a future, and I think that was important. We'd done a lot of work. We did things a lot differently to a lot of clubs, and I think we got a jump on a lot of clubs with our fitness base, and then that self-belief started to roll in. We actually called the North Melbourne game within our own ranks crunch time, because we just believed that our season would be determined by the result of that game, which way we would go. We'd either level out and be one of the sides just fighting to survive into the 8, or we'd go on to really have a launching pad and have a chance to be a top 4 side, and worked out very favourably.
Still in the change rooms in effect. Off they go again. Wine knocks it down.
Sunday at the MCG, 50,000 see the Bulldogs blitz Essendon. An 8-goal opening quarter that leaves the Bombers wondering just what had hit them.
He's a very confident player. You'd expect him to put this one through the middle.
32 goals for the season now.
Well, there's no doubt that after Ian Collins took the toe cutter down to Waverley that they have freed up a bit, the umpires, and I think they've just got to umpire by the book.
It's kicked off the ground by West. Good play, Minton Connell to West. Great play for a goal. Out here is Peter Somerville at half back. What can he do? There'll be pressure on the receiver here. Caracella! Oh, that's deliberate. He was caught red-hot holding the ball. The handball put him under enormous pressure because...
With play like this, the Bulldogs showed the football public just how far confidence and pride, coupled with skill and a huge work ethic, can take you.
Ball in time.
Well, Brad Johnson, after taking that mark, will kick from the boundary line, and it is a beautiful-looking kick. Did it sneak in? I think it did. Yes!
Here's Mercedes. Flicks it out, nicely done. Doolan off a step, what was he thinking? Ricochets off West, opportunity for Dimatina, head down, gets the hand pass away. Liberatore runs to 50, measures the hand pass, sends Collinook into space, 20 metres out, kicks their 6th.
Oh, here's loose men everywhere for the Bulldogs.
James Cook has come on to replace Collinook, so all of a sudden now the Bombers have got further height problems in defence.
Well, here's Dent receiving from Wine. Here's Grant. Oh, up he goes. Comes up the pack to Montgomery. He races into an open goal. He chips it in. It's another one.
The delivery of the ball from the running players to the forwards was as skillful as any team had produced during the season. For sheer courage and persistence, Jose Romero took some beating. Every time he was knocked over, he bounced straight back up. This was the goal of the day.
Runs on, he deserves a goal from 50. Will it bounce through? It will! Hard running Jose.
But sometimes it works.
Wellman, they need to sweep it down the ground and get a goal. That would be the best response here. Off hands on the outer side. So that's gets away, throws it on the boot. Very high, down towards full forward. Wellman knocked it forward. Here's Collinook, arches the back, gets away, open goal, puts it through. A look of a zealot. He goes in short and finds Collinook right on the 50.
He gets himself into some altercations, Steve Collinook. He's not frightened to say a few words.
And it's a pretty big kick, Steve Collinook. As soon as he got it, he considered himself a chance, and then he decided a short pass.
Darcy. So Darcy.
If that one went up, we'd be really playing a pretty ordinary game.
There's Darcy. 49 metres out. Thumping kick. That could be it.
6 goals up, the Dogs eased slightly after half-time, but by then it was all over.
The kick-off line. Doolan. Collinook. Snaps. And that should do it. Long time coming.
Minton Connell with 4, Collinook, Darcy and Montgomery 3 apiece, while Romero with 21 kicks and 10 hand passes put in a blinder. West and Johnson unstoppable.
And we went into the game quite confidently. We hadn't beaten Essendon for the E.J. Whitten Cup in the 2 years that we played for it, and we had Ted Jr. come into the rooms before the game and give us a bit of a speech on the history of obviously his father, but also about, you know, we needed to start to win the cup back for the people in the West, and have something at the club that we could look back on. And we hadn't won in those 2 years, and it was another game at the MCG that we needed to win, and another game to consolidate our spot in the top four. But it also meant a lot to us to know at the end of the day that we'd be taking the E.J. Whitten Cup to back to where it belonged.
The 1-2. Back to Jose Romero.
Not since round 20 1992 had the Bulldogs occupied top spot on the AFL ladder. In the match of the round at Optus Oval, Geelong 1 played the Western Bulldogs 2. At stake, the ladder leadership. On a day when the Bulldogs' backline was supreme and the forwards offline early, the Dogs opened a 17-point lead at half-time.
The distance, Darcy at the back, tries to clean up, flips it out, Minton Connell for his third. Back to Darcy on the left, snaps and kicks. I think he's kicked the goal. Yes, sir.
And Wine using his body well. Now Dimatina to West, Scott West that is, through the centre of the ground, through centre half back. Unable to mark is Stone, and now Montgomery. Minton Connell on the lead. What a beautiful pass that was. Leading into open space, Minton Connell. Simon Minton Connell has 2 goals for so far, so it's a 50% scoring rate so far. Looking to improve on that, and he has, according to the Bullies.
Smith kicks in. We saw Graham and Burns on the bench. Graham injured, Burns just having a rest, not having one of his better days. Now West to Liberatore. A little give. Dimatina's been terrific again. 2 bounces, make it 3. Tries to draw the man, kicks long into Minton Connell. Can't take the mark. Can he recover? Oh, that might be a goal to Grant. I think he's got it. Yes. Bounce it half forward. It's a goal. Round. He's kicked it, Johnson.
It was a no-frills affair, tough and at times nasty. Geelong had led by 10 points in the last quarter before the Dogs hit the pedal. A 6-goal final burst gave them a 21-point lead and top spot.
That was between wing and left half forward. Bullies badly needing a goal. Shong in front. Good mark. No, he hasn't paid it. Grant through some very heavy traffic. Snaps and has kicked a ripper. Great goal.
Pretty open forward line. We've got Cook in the goal square. Minton Connell just wandering around. Collingwood plays on quickly, around on his left foot. Kick looks pretty good from Collingwood. The Doggy supporters like it. Now off the ground by Dent. It's a ripper here at Optus. The crowd are screaming. Now it's Collingwood and half forward. He's got about 10 or 15 metres in front of him. Inside 50. Has a ping of the big ones. It goes long and wide. It's there for the Doggies. Another one. 90 plays 75. Back in the centre. King gets the knock only to Scott West. Sinks it deep into the forward line for the Bulldogs. Excellent punch by Ellis. Now Matthew Crock. Open goal for the Bulldogs. It could be all over.
That's it.
Minton Connell 4, Collingwood, Grant and Cook 2 each. Dimatina, Johnson and Ellis the stars as the Dogs move to 8-3 at the halfway mark of the season.
I suppose a fairy tale start in that regards, and that day we spoke as a group, and we set our aims. It was 1 versus 2. We were sitting in second place, and whether it's mid-season or whatever, for our players who had come from so far down the ladder, we set our aims to be the #1 sporting team in Australia at that particular time. And the result of that game was going to determine which side was the #1 sporting team in Australia at that stage of the year. So it was like a mini title fight for us. And Geelong, I think they had a fantastic year and probably were a little bit unlucky in their finals campaign. And I think they were a very, very good side, and it was really a game that was worthy of a 1-2 position.
Here's Primus. Oh, he tapped it down with the left hand.
It will go down as one of the strangest games of the season. A whirlwind start, a blistering 8-goal opening quarter, and for all intents and purposes the game was as good as over.
Kicks to a contest. Gee, that was strength. Accuracy what we're looking for from 20 metres out directly in front, and he goes. Out in front, Colin on the lead, marks well.
They do find space very, very well on the forward line, the Western Bulldogs.
Played in Hawthorn's 91 premiership side, and a couple of night premierships with the Hawks as well. Little skip. He kicks, and that's the Bulldogs' third goal.
Colin onto the left. Ramiro waits underneath it and marks. He gives it off. Scott West from 55 metres sets out the goal. Bang, it's through the middle.
As one scribe wrote, the people of the western suburbs of Melbourne have always been contemptuous of millionaires. Yet that's the way the Dogs played after quarter time. What should have been a telling victory was turned into a harrowing defeat. 13 goals to 4 after quarter time saw Port Adelaide produce the football lesson on the Bulldogs' turf.
Oh, don't they love Liver? He's kicked the goal.
Cook with 3, Smith and Hudson 2 each, while West, Kretiuk and Smith stood out in a shocker.
It was an absolute disaster, realistically. To walk into the rooms after the game, the disappointment on everyone. It was just flattest attack, and I think because we'd had so many big games prior, the guys thought the game was over at quarter time. We got a bit of a roll in the first quarter and kicked some fairly simple goals, and they just ground away and they just kept running and just kept working, and we just couldn't get the football after quarter time, and it really was a disaster for where we were trying to go. But I think the season sort of panned out and the guys sort of stepped up from it again.
Wine and Everett. Great play, Smith.
Impressive as the final scoreline might have read after the game against St Kilda in round 13, it was a win that the Bulldogs should feel proud to have got away with. Twice when things looked bleak, the Dogs bounced back with 4-goal spells.
Smith again. Smith runs his full distance from 60 metres out. It's a long drop punt. It's home.
Play on, says the umpire. Punched out by Croft outside the 50. All Bulldogs here. What a game Rowan Smith's having. The hand pass out in front to Johnson. He can nearly kick this himself, Brad Johnson. 45 metres out. Magnificent.
The first late in the first quarter when the Dogs kicked 4 on the trot. As St Kilda came back into the game in the third term, the Bulldogs did it again.
Beautifully read there, and a lightning hand pass to Contessa. It came from Dent. Wine takes the mark. On to Hudson. 5th goal for the Bulldogs. Yes! Darcy to the centre of the ground. Too high for Rowan Smith. But it bounces all right. Hand pass Dimartino back to Smith. Going for number 3. Open goal square.
So the ball bounced by the umpire. Inside the Bulldogs 50, Nathan Brown. Minton Connell, yep. Plays on, wheels around onto the right foot, drags it back. The Dogs are back in front.
Koloniuk's little kick to Smith. Croft running pass through the centre circle. Now Liberatore and Nossie Jones having a bit of a dip behind play. Bulldogs forward again. Off hands to Grant. Chris Grant.
So Wine bustles in, takes the ball, charges away the big bloke. Oh, Scotty Wine.
For 6 minutes they ran riot, kicking 4 goals that would eventually break St Kilda's back. Chris Grant was again in outstanding form. 20 kicks, 10 hand passes and a dozen marks, plus a couple of goals.
Hudson, he gathers and goals.
Joel Smith couldn't take the mark.
17 points the final margin, and the Bulldogs retained top spot.
Handball, inboard to the run, great pass towards Allen, couldn't complete. Grant does the roving, steps around on the right foot. Is this the ball game? He's got it.
Hudson 4, Smith 3. Grant the best player for the Dogs from Smith, West and Wind.
To O'Sullivan, the flying Croft.
How often did the Bulldogs produce that one dazzling quarter of football in 1997 that sunk opposition teams? Against Carlton, in front of 32,000 at Optus Oval, they did just that.
Scotty West caught by Whitehead. The Bulldogs under a lot of pressure. As Rowan Smith, showing some class, pops the Bulldogs second through with a beautiful goal. Or his taggy. Oh, excellent. Mark attempt now, an easy goal to Darcy. Luck's a fortune for the Bulldogs. Insurpassable half-back line, Dimatina, Ramiro, have a shot for goal. Another one for the Bulldogs.
A fairly even first half, no one able to break the shackles. Then the third quarter. After monopolising the ball for much of the first term without clearing away on the scoreboard, things suddenly started going right. The goals came, 7 of them.
Certainly to get the 3 votes last week, and he's heading for another 3 this week, Chris Grant. What a display. Gets his second. Haven't got it all their own way as far as the support is concerned. Bulldogs had plenty of support. West finds Grant. Grant wide to Darcy. He can kick this. Luke Darcy. Beautiful.
Excellent work from Jose. Hudson now putting Rowan Smith into the play. Smith can run into a goal if he can get around this bloke. He does. Can steady. Open goal. Bulldogs. Another one. To Johnson. Under pressure. Darcy all on his own can run into an open goal and kick from 50. Elects to have a shot. It's wide. Cook in front. Cook takes an easy mark. 1 against 2.
Maybe the sun a problem then, but it didn't affect Cook.
He will run around, but Carlton have Peter Dean waiting on the side, just ready to put him off. Off he goes, hooks it round. Excellent kick from Cook. Great goal.
Grant's kick. Chance here. Dimatina centres. Cook! Couldn't get regular games at Carlton, and he's now helping to bury them. James Cook. He juggled the mark. Libra arrived on the scene. Smith, just like last week, he's swooping on everything. Johnson. Hudson. He plays on Paul Hudson and goes for the goal. It bounces for a goal.
For Tony Liberatore, a game to remember. His 150th in a row. Grant was again outstanding. 27 possessions, 8 marks, 4 goals. The Bulldogs of old might have relaxed, but not the 1997 model. In for the kill, and what a day it was. The margin, 6 goals.
And again, Chris Grant. Well, this will be a magnificent way to finish the game. Smith to Grant for a goal. What a victory by the Western Bulldogs. And you can make a case for Grant and Smith to get the 3 votes and 2 votes. And here they were, featuring in the final passage of play. Chris Grant going for goal number 4 to seal a 6-goal victory over the Blues. Yes, sir.
Cook and Grant 4 each. Grant with another best on ground from Wind and Johnson.
Oh, it was a great win, and I think, you know, to back up against the St Kilda game in the fashion that we did and with the start that we did, and it was quite interesting to note after the Carlton game that, you know, for so long we'd gone to there and been beaten a couple of times, and our supporters would have to leave early, and it was quite interesting to see at Optus Oval the Carlton supporters leaving early.
Brad Wirro to kick in for the Bulldogs.
From being a game clear on top of the ladder, the horror stretch was about to unfold. Yet again, an unlikely defeat at the hands of an interstate visitor. Fremantle, Adelaide, Port Adelaide, and now Brisbane. For the top side on the ladder, wins on your home turf at Optus Oval that surely would have been marked down. While the Bulldogs were bad, Brisbane, it must be acknowledged, were very, very good. 2 goals up in the first term, the Dogs then watched as the Lions booted 19-7 in the remaining quarters.
Gets it down to Romero. To half forward. Punch back into a pack. Good trap by Liberatore. Out to Di Martina. Off to Chris Grant. Through centre half forward. Fantastic. Smith. Smith gets it.
Smith 3, Johnson and Croft 2 each, while Grant, Romero and West were the best in a 64-point loss.
Won't see too much of the match, I reckon.
For the second time in the season, the Fremantle Dockers would beat the Bulldogs by a kick. Round 20 at Subiaco saw Fremantle withstand everything Wallace and his men could produce.
Up towards centre half forward, Hudson gets onto it quickly, clear of kick, a long bomb in towards the goals. It could be there, it is, he's kicked it. That's his second.
Coming through is Smith. Spots a man up ahead. That's Hudson. The kick, though, the execution not good. Wide of the mark. Hudson made it look okay. Kept it in. Wills is with the trainer. Meantime, Hudson goes for goal. And that's a great effort from there. Magnificent.
The Bulldogs trailed at the first 3 changes and went into the final quarter 11 points down. It would be a thriller.
In was Hargraves, picked up by Hudson. A dangerous forward. Gives it to Croft. 25 metres out. Scores a level.
Dent. Croft in front. McGovern at the back did well. Liberatore spins out of trouble. Di Martina to Croft. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. This one might be a bit tougher. It bounces, and it bounces through. What's he done? He's kicked a goal.
Another chance to kick his third goal.
The biggest question asked later concerned the goal awarded to Kingsley Hunter. Did it hit the post?
Docker against the Western Bulldogs. Good looking kick. He can kick it a long way. Kingsley Hunter puts the Dockers back in front.
In the end, Fremantle by a goal.
There's the bounce. Wind. Gets it down to Smith. Flicks it away to Cameron. Cameron kicks inside the 50. Grant, magnificent. Important kick. This for the lead if it's a goal. Grant likes it. It's close. It's good.
Hudson and Croft 3 each, while Romero, Smith and Grant played well in a losing side.
This time Wine gets a very effective knock towards...
From bad to worse, Sydney and a late afternoon start. Some might say the Doggies didn't get started at all. 50 minutes elapsed between the first and second goals for the Dogs, while Sydney just piled them on. 32,000 saw Lockett kick 8, and the Bulldogs produced 3 one-goal quarters. Suddenly, from top spot on the ladder, the Dogs were sliding to 6th place, and for the 20th time in succession, the Swans were on top at home.
Provided there by Hargraves, then Brown onto it. The 2 pigtails for the Bulldogs. Grant grabbed by the jumper. The ball spills now for Rowan Smith. Go for goal, Rowan Smith. He hooks the kick across his body. It goes all the way to the line. It might have bounced through for a goal. Goal to the Bulldogs.
Smith and Brown 2 each for the Bulldogs in a 97-point percentage sapper. Quill, Cameron and Brown the best on a forgettable day.
Reads the ball so well, ready to turn it back.
After 3 straight losses, it was Richmond, rebounding after the sacking of coach Robert Walls and his replacement by former Footscray player Jeff Geeshan. An even first half, the Dogs a point up at the long break.
Chipping up forward, looking for Chrissy Grant now, had a quiet day with the flu. Off to Brown, the left foot looks pretty good. Great kick from the youngster, Nathan Brown, the Bulldogs first. Maybe there's a bit of a breeze, it's hard to tell. The flags are blowing across the ground, but it's a very swirly type of atmosphere at Optus Oval, especially with the new grandstand that the Carlton Football Club have just spent an enormous amount of money building, but unfortunately it's only a little bit empty at present. But the Bulldogs are building it up through Montgomery. He's got a couple of players out wide. Brad Weir's down from the back line if he can get around David Burke. Excellent handball. Ramiro can steady in front of goal. The Bulldogs. Another one. Wine gets the tap to the running Brown. Campbell out of the air. Chip kick to Knights. He plays on quickly, unaware that Collinyook was on his hammer. Brown, the quick right footer. Gasper and Grant. Chrissy Grant running with a fly to the ball. What a champion. A lot has to be said for the strength and the body work as well. Like heavily built. He's done a lot of work on the weights over the last few years, but looking for his third goal. Kick looks pretty good off the boot. It's fantastic stuff.
In the second half, though, Richmond moved away, despite the best efforts of Grant, Johnson and Wind.
Still 7 minutes remaining in this third term. The handball off to Smith. Looking for the flying Chris Grant. Oh, he does it again. Great stuff. He's winded himself, but a fantastic mark. Oh, but it was all set for him. He does.
They'd be quite content with the day's work. Here's one of the fine players for the Bulldogs, Brown, bursting through. Well done. That's an excellent roving goal.
Richmond by 15 points and the Dogs out of the 8. Grant 4, Brown 3 in the Bulldogs' 4th loss on the trot. The confidence had been shattered. If this was the time to play the bottom side, it couldn't have been scripted any better. The Dogs got the start they wanted, 4 goals to 1 in the opening term.
Just doesn't look right at the moment.
So Johnson with the opportunity for the first one for the Western Bulldogs. It's a deliberate shot from 40 metres out. He's got it. It's 1 goal apiece. Melbourne have started extremely well here at this match against the Bulldogs. Phoebe does the kicking out towards Ingus, and West steps away inside 50 on the left foot, goes long, goes strong, he's put it there. 2 to the Dogs. Darcy, Steins gets front position, but Darcy gets away to West. Great little give, Ramiro, there's the rugby line out, Brown's away, 55 metres out, kicks towards Cook and got him. There is certain form that goes with that, Paul. James Cook, he's kicked it.
Gradually, the game plan that had been so successful all year was falling back into shape.
It's Darcy it is, the twin brothers, onto the left foot, looking to open up those goals. Brad Johnson, too much class for Hopgood. It's only his second grab, but it'll be 6th kick, as the kick from 50 is off the side of the boot. But allowing Darcy again, who's been a very, very good aerialist so far. Bulldogs have controlled the game. Melbourne have been very erratic with their movement of the ball. They've gone very wide and used the ball, I suppose, a lot worse than the Bulldogs. But Darcy's put his first on the board. That'll be a relief for the boy. I think he was calling for him to kick it to his right side, so he may have been able to hook it in with his right boot as Brad Johnson has Simon Cox. See, this is where Cox is making Schwartz pay. He's running off him off that back line. Doing excellent work now to Chris Grant, who kicks inboard, straight down the throat of Brett Montgomery. The boy from Springvale. He's kicked 10 goals, 12 in his illustrious 11-game career. There's number 11.
He is a big...
A 4-goal half-time lead was whittled back as the Demons showed surprising fight through the genius of Farmer.
Picks up and Farmer goals! Oh! Ellis providing run. Approaching half forward, back into centre half forward, there's no one there. Grant does the roving off the back of Cow's hands to Romero, straight in front. The Bulldogs need it, the Bulldogs have got it.
Fortunately, with the finals campaign online, the Dogs settled and went on to win by 38 points.
But I think they've sorely missed his focal point at full forward. Martin, one of 6 changes made by the Bulldogs for today's game, drives in Montgomery. Very good player coming off the bench. That's mark number 9. So here he goes from mark number 9 and kick number 11. He's kicked goal number 2.
They've had a lot of the play in the first half, but they really haven't buried the Demon side. They had the opportunity, poor kicking, sure, but Chris Grant showing strength against Ingerson. Now through the pack was Brad Johnson. Directly in front, Brad Johnson. There's another one for the Bulldogs. The nail is in the coffin.
10 different goal kickers, Johnson, Darcy and West, the best.
4 losses in a row, and you're playing Melbourne, who everyone expects you to beat. Now, if you're playing another one of the higher sides, well, you can just go into it and have another crack at it again. But there was a fair bit of pressure building up to win that game. We made probably quite a few structural changes after the Richmond game to the lineup, and probably changes and really sort of set the way that we set up the team for the run into the finals from that game. A few things worked. It wasn't the most glorious win of all time, but it was just very nice to get another 4 points.
Scotty West again, 2 hand passes in that.
Terry Wallace had laid his plans out carefully on the dressing room whiteboard, his imperatives for a win in Adelaide against the odds. He wanted a fast start and he got it. 6 straight to a goal. And great stuff too.
Hand pass back to Rowan Smith. First score to the Bulldogs. It's a goal to the Bullies. Footscray Hilton, the Rising Sun Hotel, watching this game, Drew. A lot of the Bulldog supporters out there at the home of Footscray, the Rising Sun Hotel, and they'll be interested. The Bulldogs getting the first goal. Chris Grant, he's got the second goal for the Bullies.
Simon Cox out here near the wing. Gets the hand pass over the centre line to Dent. Bumbling kick to the 50, well read by Cook. The hand pass back into Cox. Chance here for Cox off the left. Good looking kick. Magnificent shot. Goal!
Two kicks, 4 hand passes. They've got the ball into the centre, have the Bullies. Ramiro, good spotting out wide Cameron. What can Leon Cameron do with this kick? Kick it to the advantage of Rowan Smith at the back. Good body work, brilliant body work. Just held his ground and has the chance to get his second goal.
Ben Hart. Just watch this, there was a player in short. We might just see it on camera as we go over the top. There it was, Dimartino in the front. The long option turned out to be the right choice.
He wanted to flood the back line, to outrun the opposition, to negate Adelaide's key players, for his defenders to display courage and, most importantly, to hold the team structure and play with confidence and flair. Hey presto, he got it. Scotty Wine had led by example, a great first quarter that set the stage for more to come.
Jamison for the Crows. He's been run down. Well done. Great chase by Cook.
Terrific chase. Perhaps a player who may have had that part of his game questioned in the past. Terrific. Look at the determination on his face. And Mark Rashido should have heard the roar of the crowd to let him know there was someone in hot to shoot. That's something that does up.
James Cook for his second. 50 metres from goal. Thumps it home. That's a great kick. And well deserved.
So to get the distance, it'd have to be a pretty good kick. But Grant kicks and kicks pretty well right to the line. It's going to be kicked through by Martin, a goal. Martin's kicked a goal.
The defence, led by Kretiuk and Southern, held Adelaide's key forwards to a miserly 2-9 in the first half. Grant outplayed Nigel Smart. And how it showed on the scoreboard.
The only game he's missed this year. 48 metres out, kicks right through it with a perfect kick.
They lead by 38 points. If they can win this match by 41 points or more, they can improve their percentage by enough to get up to 100%. At the moment, 97.8. Allen leaves it behind. Danny Southern's got hold of Pittman. Johnson run in and get a goal! What a goal by Brad Johnson!
Kick by Southern towards half forward. Cook off hands to West. Mark West gets free. Ellis on the run. Ellis should goal. And got it.
Gets the hand pass away effectively to Johnson. Johnson across the half-forward line. Looks out there for Ellis. It's going to rebound back. Can he get his second? No, he unselfishly gives it to Ramiro. And Ramiro will make the Bulldogs' percentage certainly at least 100%.
A 43-point win, and the Dogs were back in the September action.
Time for one more. Ramiro back to Liberatore. Support from Dent. 8 seconds left. Dent to the 50. A mark would have been handy, but it didn't carry to Darcy. Well done, Ellis. Charge through. No time for Cook.
It's a free kick, I think.
It might come back. A free kick to Ellis on the 50, so he'd be kicking for goal after the siren. After the siren. for the second goal of his league career. It's no score, it drops up short.
11 different goal kickers did the damage, while none played better than Jose Romero, who produced the magnificent stats of 18 kicks, 8 hand passes and 11 marks.
We've had some real quality wins over there, particularly interstate games over the last couple of years. We've beaten West Coast and West Coast a couple of times, and also Adelaide and Adelaide. And we spoke about during the week about retribution against Adelaide Football Club for what they were able to do against us at Optus Oval on our home ground. And we had also made a commitment the week before against the Melbourne football team that we needed to really make an assault on the finals. And when you're playing quality teams on their home ground like we were against the Adelaide club, that we really needed to have a win against them. And we played quality football for the whole day and really didn't let Adelaide in or have a sniff for the whole day. And we walked away from that game thinking that, okay, we've played a quality side on their home soil, and okay, we are a quality side. We've got to start believing that, and we were hoping that would continue into the last 2 rounds of the year.
The Whitten Oval, the Whitten Stand, are now a striking statue of Mr. Football to watch over the Bulldogs.
I couldn't believe it. I cried.
Ted overlooks the western suburbs where he played as a boy in Braybrook, dreaming of being a football star. He became a legend, but a modest one, agreeing to the statue on one condition.
He said that you get up every Sunday morning with the mop and the bucket and clean all the seagull droppings.
The Whitten Oval will always be a mecca for Bulldog fans, but its days as an AFL venue are numbered. The players welcomed Ted's statue as a group,
Right back on the job now, boys.
but are set to farewell Whitten Oval this Saturday. Will it be the last game?
Well, it looks like it will be.
Which won't concern fans, with a survey revealing strongest support for the Docklands among Bulldog fans. And the 17,000 people questioned by the Herald Sun have provided overwhelming support for the retention of Waverley.
There is no more need for surveys. People want to keep Waverley Park.
Darren Linton, 7 Nightly News.
So an enormous amount of feeling. Grigic against...
Poor old Mick Malthouse, the one-time hero of the Western Oval and finals coach of Footscray, knew exactly what was confronting his final aspirants when they arrived at his old stomping ground. A fired-up Bulldog side hell-bent on farewelling the old ground in style.
It's hard at the goals. It looks good, it's a goal.
Cameron squares it. Thought of half-back, it's Cox. He can take it and go. Liberatore wants a Shepherd. Cox boots it down to half-forward Grant.
In front of Jagovic.
Chris Grant into mine, short towards the pocket, awkward half volley for Smith, still he goes Smith, bends it back towards full forward, bounces off the chest, Cook goes after it, claiming a goal is Darcy. Goal to Darcy.
And now Ryan Turnbull to take on Darcy. Darcy won it, Liberatore appealing for a free kick, suck it off the ground, this is a goal.
Cook in from the side, Gardner, fingertips to it, couldn't hang on. Coming through is Cox, suckers off the ground through midfield, in front Montgomery, bumped in the back surely, must get the free advantages, Pay Johnson's away, Collinwood gets away from the trainer, gets away from his marker, lines up goal from 35, heads for home, it looks good, it's a goal.
Grant is a very, very good player. To Dent, oh, courage needed, no, Johnson over the top. Denny Sutton might kick a goal. No, he tries to centre it back in the direction of Ramiro. Jose's got it. Bends it back. Oh, it's a mark to Rowan Smith. But he'll have to do it quickly because the Eagles players are waiting for him. Smith for his second. He's going to have the set shot. He's goal.
Shorter than in the old days, and no muddy wicket area in the middle made the ground kinder. But that howling wind was still a factor, just as it's been for 70 years. 4 up at half-time.
He kicked, but Grant makes it look okay. Chris Grant in front.
Yeah, Dennis, you summed it up there, in front.
You doubt the Eagles can get back from here if he kicks this goal, even at this early stage of the third term. Straight through the middle. And Grigic. Darcy, who's been very good this afternoon, beaten that time. Morrison. Grigic comes over the top, helping the ball on its way. Great courage against the flow there. Liberatore dropped by Croft, taken by Waterman. Ball slipped over. Waterman still on. He's in trouble though. Strong tackle got him down. Away comes Croft. Croft outside the 50. Spears the pass in and finds Cook. Got the margin out to 6 goals. Michael Malthouse down on the boundary now. When the Eagles won here last season, that made it 8 straight. They're looking for 5 straight this afternoon. But James Cook could thwart their plans. Big kick. 35 metres out. It's a goal.
4 goals up at three-quarter time.
Versus Ball. Jakovic, the big fist, gained 30 metres,
That's
but it
a
went
shocking
straight to
pass.
Montgomery. Montgomery has kicked the ripper. A top goal, Brett Montgomery.
Got to go straight down the ground, sure.
And that's the way to play it. He kicks it 60 metres, Ryan Turnbull. He's looking for Jason Ball. It's over the back. An important get. Cameron finds Johnson, 2 of their brilliant young players. Brad Johnson chips it in, and Jose Ramiro is marked.
This was a winter saver, a tough, relentless win that became a scrap between 2 sides determined not to give an inch. The Bulldogs by 18 points. Southern, Cretiuk and Ellis each fined 250 seconds of their base salary after being found guilty of threatening behaviour to Gardner. Grant and Smith 3 goals each. Romero, Wind and West the best.
The Bulldogs forward arrived to face the late charge just a short time ago. Yesterday, AFL investigator Roger Berryman interviewed Peter Matera, then met Collingwood at Whitten Oval last night until 10:30. Today, he reported the Bulldog for striking Matera with a hand to the face in the last quarter. Furthermore, Bulldog trio Danny Southern, Steve Cretiuk and Craig Ellis have all been asked by the AFL for a please explain over their clash with Eagles ruckman Michael Gardner on Saturday. They have 24 hours to respond after the league sent out letters to each one late last night asking them to explain a possible breach of Rule 10C that bans any player from acting in a threatening or aggressive manner towards any other player or person.
It's one of those sort of things that I believe that it was a little bit overplayed, overstated. I mean, there was no one hurt, from the incident, and I can understand people, looking at it and sort of suggesting that, they didn't like what they saw. My personal opinion is that I just think it was a little bit over boisterous rather than anything else. I think a few of our guys took it a little bit further than perhaps they may have normally done, and the result is the result. But I mean, I live for the future and for what's going to happen from now on end, and you can't look back on those things. And as I sort of said, there wasn't anything where anyone was maimed or badly hurt out of the incident. So you just get on and play the game. And look, I think the kid probably learned a pretty good lesson from it, and he's going to be a great player for the West Coast Eagles in the future anyway.
Now it was a matter of jockeying for that all-important final position on the AFL ladder. And who better to test your jockeying against than Hawthorn, the measuring stick in football over the last dozen seasons. An intensely physical game at Waverley, the skill level of both sides challenged. The tribunal set for a workout in the nights ahead. After Matthew Croft got on top of Mark Graham, the Dogs never looked back.
Did well, then almost threw it out. A quick kick comes in towards the half-forward line. The bounce is important here. Chance for Cook. He bends it back. A brilliant goal by Cook. And Cook having plenty to say to Chris Scott. He doesn't like coming off Danny Sutherland.
Well, I don't know why they're taking him off either.
He's playing well.
Got the wrong bloke coming off there. Here it is, Montgomery. He takes the ball, curls it around beautifully on the right foot. His first.
But Darcy here doing the ruck work with Robram.
So Darcy actually flicked it down towards West. We tried to get out to Smith. Smith off the ground towards half forward. Good play by Montgomery. Hudson did well also. Here's Cox having a shot. 45 metres. Goal. Bulldogs in front. Bends it. Croft read it beautifully. He's got that extra height now on Graham.
Kicks to Di Martina. So Paul Di Martina can chip it around the boundary line. He finds his teammate there for the Western Bulldogs in Brad Johnson. Hudson trying to keep it in. He's getting some hoots. Good play by Paul Hudson to bring it back to Grant. Grant sets sail for goal and puts it right through the middle. Good play.
Romero and Liberatore combined with West made the midfield potent. Grant was in control and Cook up forward at his very best. He'd kicked 7-3 from a dozen kicks.
Hudson stays upright, he has a chance inboard to Grant, can't squeeze it through at all. Grant,
look at Grant,
keeps it alive. A little right foot kick, great stuff. Sensational play by Grant.
It's terrific that we've got this on camera on film because it'd be very, very hard to describe. That was class.
So James Cook going for his fourth. The Bulldogs have kicked the last 4 of the game. Towards the forward line, the ball bouncing. Hudson gathers it. Some run from behind the ball. Dent breaks through the Leckers tackle, slips it in. Cook back on the ground and got out too easily that time. So here he goes. He'll kick pretty much on the line at 50. Crosses it now. Lets it go long. It's a bomb, it's home. 5 goals for James Cook. Robin, 2 goals to his credit. And doing the kicking in. Ooh, it just gets over the top. Lawrence couldn't take it. West, handball. Libba wanting to get onto his left. Eventually does. Squeeze it. Here's the outrider. It's Johnson.
And Johnson's now got his shot.
Very deliberately. 25 metres out. He's got it. So the ball's to be bounced some 30 metres out from the Western goal. Salmon pushes it on out wide, but only into the path of Grant. Slips for about the 5th time today. Southern keeps his feet. Feeds back to Ramiro, steps out. Here's a little bit of space. Something to work in for Jose, and he doesn't let him down. Crashing out, a little bit more urgency. Well done by Robin to just get his hand to it. Darcy playing it on in front of him. Good play by Luke Darcy. This might be Ramiro again. Beautiful hand pass to Curley. Another goal coming up. Yes, good play by the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs would finish in 3rd position.
And then unfortunately for team balance, he was benched. So Siren close to going. The end of an era for Hawthorn with Chris Langford and Darren Pritchard. Good win to the Bulldogs in the finish, Don.
A 3-goal win, Cook 7, Romero, Grant and Liberatore the best. The Tribunal would suspend Di Martina and Southern and fine West for wrestling, much to the amazement of many within the club.
We thought if we were really going to be a realistic chance of winning a flag, you know, the realities of life is you need to finish top 4. And so, you know, we needed to win that match. We'd heard a couple of rumblings from within the Hawthorn camp during that week that there was going to be a little bit of fisticuffs in the early part of the game. We actually took Tony Liberatore out of the first centre bounce and put him down in a forward pocket just because we believed that he was going to be a target player in the whole thing. So it was pretty hot in the kitchen for the first 10 or 15 minutes. And I thought both sides handled it pretty well. I mean, Hawthorn had nothing to lose. Had realised that we'd been in a few of those sort of games in recent times, and so the pressure was going to be on our players. Went after us fairly aggressively, and I thought our guys handled it, got the best of the free kicks and went on and won the game accordingly.
Getting the boos of the crowd. I don't know about Jared's view that there are more Swanee supporters than Bulldogs fans, so I think it's pretty well even.
The plan was simple. Jump Sydney at the MCG in the first quarter. Easy as that, and that's exactly what happened. A 9-goal first quarter blew the qualifying final wide open, and the Swans were never a threat.
Darcy off a step, Luff in front, can hear them coming. Oh, they come from everywhere. Grant measures it, snaps and kicks Trolley. Doggy second.
So Paul Roos playing on Chris Grant just gave him a little bit of leeway. Chris Grant able to snap the Bulldogs' second goal. They lead 2-2 to 4 behinds. Scotty Wine terrific to Ramiro. Ramiro's kick has been well marked. Terrific football by the Bulldogs. It's Montgomery. He's on the forward end of the 50. He's kicked towards full forward. No mark, so the spills are there. Rowan Smith has kicked it, a miraculous goal. But the football is with Cresswell, and he'll kick from 50 metres. Kicks to the front of the square, and well done. Dent got back to help out, and has marked safely across the full back line. One bounce, a second bounce will carry the ball nearly outside the defensive 50. Johnson with the football. Short pass is all right. The mark is taken by Curley. Looking to handball on, does so, not having to change stride, so it was a good hand pass to Dent, and an excellent kick by Dent. Just hooked it at the last moment and gave the opportunity to Grant. Could nearly score. No, he goes for the pass into the pocket, it's good. And Rowan Smith is causing some problems. He and Montgomery.
Working fantastically by Terry Wallace. Smith and Cook interchanging. Smith leading up the ground, Cook going back, and they're interchanging. Great forward play.
Beautiful kick by Rowan Smith. He's kicked his second goal. Well, that is the scoreboard, folks. 5-2 to 5 behind. Sydney still goalless. We've got 6.5 minutes left in this first turn. Trying to get away with Dyson. Kelly missed his target, and that has been the name of the game so far. Liberatore got it back. Nicely to Johnson. Johnson sets it up beautifully. Chance here for Montgomery. Montgomery's already kicked one. Gets past. Straightens up. Brett Montgomery goes for goal, and the Bullies have got another one. Magnificent footy, Brett Montgomery. This is a wonderful start to a crucial finals game here at the MCG.
Stuart Maxfield has been cut up by Brad Johnson on the wing, and he's been benched to have a look at it.
O'Loughlin to Dunkley again. Dunkley over the head of Mooney. Oh, a bad fumble down there by Carey. Johnson. They might get another one. Hudson goes at goal. Cook in the square. From point blank range, Cook kicks another one. Where are the Swannies?
O'Loughlin's been shifted into defence. He's swapped with Luff. Curley now picking up Luff. And finally, some pressure from the Sydney Swans has created a turnover. That would be Rowan Smith's first blue for the afternoon, but I'm not sure the coach would be too upset.
Might be the Bulldogs' first blue, Gerard. Look at O'Loughlin. Terrible play. Back to Smith. Belts it back to Cook. He's got the run at it here. Dunkley front spot. Great mark. Sensational grab. What was Michael O'Loughlin thinking about at half-back?
They came into the game with perhaps a little bit of a confidence loss. There's a great result there after a big kick from Rowan Smith.
Leon Cameron at his best, 28 possessions. Dent, Smith, Johnson had the ball on a string. Wind controlled the ruck. Chris Grant was pushed into the background a little, but he did manage 3 goals from his 15 kicks and 9 marks.
Not him to then punch the ball clear quickly, and he didn't do so.
Johnson decides to play on. Kicks just inside 50. Not a bad kick. Oh, it's a great kick. It's a goal. The Bullies can do no wrong.
Curley's got it for the Bulldogs. Nobody on the mark. Confusion reigning. Kicks to Grant. Works to the front. Too good. Much too good for Mooney. Turned him inside out literally and took the mark. Dunkley coming in might have hurt his wrist by the look of it. This to get the margin right out again to about what it was at quarter time. So Grant from 35 metres out, not much of an angle, perfect.
And it's chopped off. Well, should he have had a shot pick, McKenna? What do you reckon?
Absolutely ridiculous. He is a good kick. He's within kicking distance. Took a risk. A very bad play by James Cook, Pete.
Hudson back to Cox, already himself a goal kicker today. Around next, Grant marks in the forward pocket.
Well, he hasn't been known over the years as a really long kick, but he's normally fairly accurate, Gerard. I'm right behind him as he comes in. I watched him on an earlier goal. He runs very, very straight. I think it'll be a little bit left to right. He might have to go to the left-hand goal post here, Chris Grant, but he's a superstar, and they normally kick them. Oh, beautiful.
Well called, Pete.
Scotty Wine continues to get the ball away from the centre. Mark West has got some run in his legs, and James Cook is going to run in. No, he's not going to run in.
It just looked like he's got a bit of a swollen cheek there, though.
Certainly does. Cook goes for his third goal, and he's got it.
And Steve Wallace, of course, former captain. And in Twisted onlooker. Punch away by Darcy. Had a great third quarter. Cook. Handballs up in the air. Johnson. Hudson snaps. What's he done? Goal umpire will run back and tell us that he has kicked a goal. Couple of heavy knock early. Stafford. West. West kicks towards half forward. Darcy's been good in the second half.
Scotty Wine.
West. Long bomb. That's a great kick. It's a goal. Terrific reply.
At centre half forward, Scotty West again. And Brad Johnson just accumulating. Chris Grant unselfishly out wide to young Brown. Gets back onto his left foot. Snapshot for goal. That looks like a goal too.
Got it.
A great win, and with North beating Geelong, it gave the Dogs an extra week off.
To centre wing, Luff, inside, misses the target, cut off easily by Dent, and that's it. The Doggies over the Swans. Great first quarter.
Yeah, actually the Sydney Swans have been a very good side in the first quarters, and we thought that if we could match them in that area of the game, that would be a real start for us. And we didn't believe that our guys had suffered from nerves, even though a lot of them hadn't played, and they showed that they're a good footy side.
And what about the centre bounce? Scott Wine, Scott West, fair pair.
Yeah, look, once again, probably we thought that was the key area of the game, as I spoke to before the match, that if we got first use of the ball and stopped Lockett from getting first use, that was going to be a real bonus for us, and those two blokes are sensational.
Good on you, player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
4 to Cook, 3 each to Grant and Hudson. Wind, Cameron and Grant judged the best players.
That quarter was probably as good a quarter as what we'd put in for the season. Our use of the football, our run through the lines was probably as good as I'd ever seen it at any stage. Grant was creating havoc at centre half forward. James Cook had started to really come of age as a full forward and really started to step up, and that gave us that that key attack that any side needs if they're going to really win a finals. Our key centre half forward, key full forward to be able to go on with the job, and it was a very, very good win.
No doubt his father, David, himself a former league player in 2 states, will be very interested.
The scenario was all too obvious. The Bulldogs looking for their first grand final berth since 1961. The Adelaide Crows, their first in 7 years in the AFL. While Adelaide frittered away opportunities, the Bulldogs worked diligently to build a match-winning lead.
Start of a final might have some effect. Looks good. What a goal! Playing game number 150 on the half-back line. Gets it back to Scotty West, the partner in crime. Here's the loose play, it's been set up. Gives it across. This is Montgomery. Rockets a ball inboard. Chance for Dent. Runs inside 50. Bulldogs. He drills it. Great play by the Bulldogs.
Leon Cameron, with 9 kicks in the first term, was devastating. Scott West in the form that had made him one of the outstanding players of the season. By quarter time, the Bulldogs led by 7 points. 11 minutes into the second quarter, the Crows had won back the lead. But then came the Bulldogs' surge. By half-time, the lead was 31 points. Cook had kicked 4.
30 metres, directly in front. And he's got it. Sampson towards the centre of the ground. Mark West. West on the run. Long kick is a beauty. Cook.
And West, who only came on the ground to replace Ramiro, has already had a couple of touches. Peter McKenna.
He's got to run out and have a snap on the right. He's got it.
So Hart will go short, finds Connell, tries to get the ball moving quickly, back to Goodwin, who's got the job playing on Hudson. Kicks ball back towards the half-back line, drops short, has been taken by Johnson, but play on was the cause. West tumbles the ball forward, Cook's got it, the captain, magnificent to Hudson, bangs it through.
be taken by Liberatore. Floating punt kick up towards the half-forward line. The flyer was Darcy, and he's got time to recover. In fact, he has paid the advantage because he got a push. He kicks up towards Cook, he takes the mark. So Cook for his third and his 33rd for the season. The Bulldog fans love it. They've hit back. It's the biggest margin we've had in the game. Hart wants Wren. Look out because West is lurking. 45 metres out, he goes for home. He's got it.
At three-quarter time, the Bulldogs by 22 points. It should well have been all over, but not against the Crows of 97. The Bulldogs held goalless, adding 6 behinds. At the 25-minute mark, Darren Jarman would goal to edge Adelaide in front. Cook 6, Grant and Mark West 2 each. The Wests outstanding in the 2-point loss.
I think the realities of it were that probably we were almost good enough to take it off. You know, we were 3 or 4 goals in front of the Premiers with 10 minutes to go, and we lost the game. And you know, I have no doubt that we blew an opportunity. And the way that I look back at 1997 is one of lost opportunity. You don't get those chances very often, and we had a real chance to create some history for this football club, and fell at the last hurdle basically.
On the following Monday night, more than 1,000 people at the Crown Casino saw history take place. Chris Grant would poll the most votes in the Brownlow medal, but because of suspension was ruled ineligible. The feeling was obvious.
Congratulations to Chris Grant for receiving the most number of Brownlow votes for season 1997.
Let's go back to where Chris Grant lives, out of Williamstown, and Tiffany Cherry's there to report. Tiffany.
Yes, Bruce. Here I am outside the front of Chris Grant's house, being ineligible for the Brownlow. He wasn't actually at the count tonight, as we know. Upon first reports, we were told that he wasn't even at home, but his flatmate Brad Weir came out and spoke to us and said that he was inside the house and he was watching the count, and when the results came through, he was very, very disappointed. He's not going to speak to us, but that's the result.
Tiffany, thank you for that. There's Libba, who won in 1990. See the irony for Grant, I guess, tonight. He missed out by 1 vote last year when he was eligible.
Shattered by their finals ordeal, Wallace and his men are already looking to the year ahead.
I can recall Adelaide going out of the final series ingloriously against Essendon in a similar fashion in a preliminary final, and Essendon losing their grand final a couple of years ago. It took them probably 2 or 3 years to get over it. But then there are cases of North Melbourne, losing to Geelong in a prelim final and then stepping up and winning a premiership. And Melbourne, when Steinsy sort of run across the mark the following year, they went on to play in a grand final. So, really the ledgers balanced pretty evenly with sides stepping up or sides sort of failing, and the history of this club is that they go backwards after a major year like that. The last 3 times we've played in preliminary finals, they haven't made the finals the year after, and that's something that we need to deal with, and we need to be strong. I think the new history of the Western Bulldogs is different to the past history of Footscray Football Club. The entire club is different. The structure of the club, the administration, the board. I think the levels have raised right across the board. And our aims when we took over were to play regular finals, so that we are seen as a regular finals performer. And nothing's really changed in that regard. Yes, we had a chance, but we're just stepping back up to be a regular finals performer next year.
This is Lauda's European network.
Yes.